Hi y'all, I'm Allison. We're already closing in on the middle of the month and I haven't even told you the other books that I'll be reading for January. So we're going to go into that. I've got 4 for y'all. And also some of the changes that I'm going to be making this year to my channel and my own personal reading habits. So let's go ahead and start with the books. I'm going to be doing 3 year-long challenges once again. And if you've seen any of my other videos, I'm sure you can guess what they're going to be because, yes, I'm going to be continuing on. So I've got Read Your Bookshelf, TBR Knockout, and Buzzword. I contemplated, passing on 1 or 2 of them this year, but I just couldn't. I enjoy all of these challenges so much. Yeah, it's fun to have prompts that somebody else came up with and not knowing what they're going to be, because even though I write them down, I do forget as the year goes on. So it's always exciting to see what they're going to have in store for me each month. And Chantel at Chantel Reads All Day with the Read Your Bookshelf, she changed hers dramatically. Let's start out with Melanie from Completely Melanie. She's got TBR Knockout, and I am so excited to join on this once again. So if you didn't know, it's a year-long challenge. You have 2 books a month, and you are not allowed to double up because this is, in fact, supposed to help you get your unread books off your shelves actually read, and we all need help with that. The other thing that Melanie does is she has a theme for each month. January, the theme is white as snow, so both of our prompts will relate to that. The first one being only words on the cover. There could be no images or anything. And this works out beautifully for me. I am going with 7 Up by Janet Ivanovich. This is part 7 in the Stephanie Plum series, which I love. And any excuse I have to get them back onto my list is great. I'm rereading this series once again. Although I don't think I've ever gotten past, I've probably gotten as far as number 17 or so. I haven't completed the series ever. And I hope to one day do it because I love these characters. This time, Stephanie's going to be dealing with a senior citizen who is selling contraband cigarettes. We end up with a body in a woodshed. Somebody dies, of course. A couple of her more colorful friends from high school are also twisted up in this case, and they go missing. And Bob, the bulimic dog, is back. He's going to be eating some furniture, and Grandma Mauser is going to be asking some questions about lesbianism. So Grandma Mauser, she's always a hoot, and I am there for any scene she is in. So I am so excited to continue on with this series. So there's my first book. And the second prompt is a mostly white cover. We're going the complete other end of the spectrum. 7A Plum, of course, is mystery and thriller and humor. Quite humorous. So we're going to go with The Invisible Man by H.G. Wells, a classic, mostly white cover. In fact, I picked up this copy because of the cover. I love it. It's so striking in its simplicity. This is one I have read before. We did this when I was homeschooling my son. This was one of his required reading that we discussed in length. And I'm looking forward to reading it again. H.G. Wells, I think, is credited with being the founder of sci-fi. So he kind of kicked off the genre back in the day. If you've never read The Invisible Man and you're wanting to read some classics, this would be a good one as a kickstart because it does have quite humorous moments. It's a short read and it is very accessible, quite entertaining. And we have a scientist who comes up with a formula to make himself invisible, but he's unable to reverse the process. So he's trying to figure out how he's going to manage in society while being invisible. He wraps himself up in gauze, wears a hat and some sunglasses. And that's how he kind of moves around and navigates his life. But of course, science doesn't always give you the results you want, and his life kind of takes a darker turn as he goes down the criminal road. So, The Invisible Man, H.G. Wells. That will be my second one. Okay, Buzzword. It's a classic. I love it. Lala always comes up with such great prompts for this, and it's fun scouring my shelves to see what I can find to match along with it. This time we've got life and death, and you can use any variation of either term. So living, life, lives, death, dying, dead. And I went with a debut that I got from Once Upon a Book Club. This is Never Name the Dead by D.M. Rowell. I'll admit, when this one came in, I was a little curious, had a couple minutes on my hands, and I started reading the first few pages to see if I would like it, and I was immediately hooked. It was really hard to put it down. This one is set on a reservation in Oklahoma. It's the Kiowa tribe, and the author is actually a storyteller from that tribe. She's from a long line of storytellers. We have May, who lives out in California. She left the reservation and the tribe like 10 years prior. She's been out there, Silicon Valley, doing her thing. She gets a cryptic phone call from her grandfather, and she gets really worried. Something's not right. So she hops on a plane and flies back to Oklahoma. As soon as she gets off the plane, the mystery has already begun. She doesn't know what's going on. At home, she doesn't go by the name May. She's actually Mud. So Mud discovers the tribe in disarray. Fracking is destroying the ancestral lands, and the families are being forced to sell their artifacts, and frackers have threatened to kill her grandfather over his water rights. So Mud and her cousin Denny discover her grandfather is missing, accused of stealing the valuable Jefferson Peace Medal from the tribal museum, and they stumble across a body in his workroom. So Mud has no choice but to search for the answers. I am so excited for this. And like I said, the writing, it really gripped me from the beginning. And it will have gifts. I forgot, because it's Once Upon a Book Club. All right, enough of me gushing on this. So excited. Let's move on to Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. Like I said, she's changing it up. Normally, it's just one prompt a month. And even she has a website. If you go on there and sign up for the challenge, at the end of the year, if you've done all 12 months, she does a drawing for a gift card. So I will have all of the channels linked down in my description if you want to go over there and join it. These challenges, by the way, are also all on STORYGRAPH. I put up Melanie's and Read Your Bookshelf. Yes, I did both of them. So if y'all are already friends with me, just look. I think you can find it that way. But if you search Read Your Bookshelf or TBR Knockout, you can use those challenges that I created to track your reading. But if you're going to join in for the gift card from Chantel, that has to be done on her website, which is Hey Reader. Okay, back to the book. So, like I said, she's changing it up this year. This time, the book that you pick will affect next month's pick. So, we're starting out really broad and easy. And the title has to have the word a or the. Simple as that. I am going with A Pocketful of Rye by Agatha Christie. This is number 6 in the Miss Marple series. The bizarre death of a financial tycoon leads Miss Marple to investigate a series of murders based on children's rhymes. I love Agatha Christie. The ideas that she comes up with. Murder is announced. Love that concept. And I have a feeling I am going to fall for this one, hook, line, and sinker too. So I guess everything is going to tie back to nursery rhymes. Rex Fortescue is the king of a financial empire, and he was sipping tea in his counting house when he suffers an agonizing and sudden death. On later inspection, the pockets of the deceased were discovered to be full of cereal. Yet, it was the incident in the parlor which convinced Miss Marple's suspicion that she was looking at a case by rhyme. So, excited for this one too. And again, I love these editions. These came out last year. Isn't it gorgeous? And it's going to come into play because next month, I will have to choose a book with a complementary color from one of the colors on this book. And then whatever I choose for that will determine what I will be reading in March, which is so much fun. So that'll be a nice change. And speaking of change, as I mentioned in my Just Spin It, first one for the year, I do have some changes going on. So I have decided to scale back. Normally I was reading at least 14 books, 5 from Just Spin It, 5 from The Sims, and then 4 from these reading challenges that I've been doing. So I've decided I'm not going to do The Sims every month. I will still be doing them from time to time. I won't be doing The Sims in February. Possibly I'll bring them back in March. We will see how it goes. But I'm not abandoning them completely. I'm just lightening my load because I have other things I want to do. And I'm just racing to get all of my books read. And there's no time to do videos or, have any other kind of content for y'all. So I can't put together any, series of videos or books for Halloween, for example, horror books or any of that stuff. Because there's no time. Editing is taking all of my time. And The Sims is a really heavy editing job. I'm still finding my way in all of this, and I'm still learning. I'm getting better, but I am quite slow. So I thought by eliminating one of my TBR games, that would alleviate some pressure and hopefully enable me to bring y'all more content and bring some variety. I need variety. I'm just doing the same thing. I'm getting tired of it. I'm sure y'all are. And by the way, I have to say thank you for those who have stuck through my little rut. So hopefully we're going to be on the turning point. Might take me a little bit because I am scrambling to catch up from Christmas. I had COVID over Christmas, which has put me behind on everything. So I will be doing a themed version of Just Spin It in February. I don't know how I'm going to pull it off, but I will pull it off. So we're going to have that Valentine's version. And it won't all be lovey-dovey. I'm also going to take the other side of Valentine's, and some of the prompts will be related to being single and celebrating that instead. So I'm excited for that. I think it'll be a lot of fun because I love the Halloween board and then just the Christmas board. So we will have a Valentine's. And I also have plans to have other themed boards throughout the year. So be keeping an eye on that. I have some ideas, but I'm not going to give them to y'all specifics unless I know for a fact I'm ready to do it, because I don't want to make empty promises. I do have 2 really big projects that I want to do that I've had on the back of my mind for about a year, but I haven't had the time to make them happen. So just know I've got plans, and we're going to get there, even if I have to cut back on a little bit of stuff. And I also want the ability to be able to mood read a book it would honestly be for a video. Like I said, if I wanted to do another thing like the Christina Lauren mini marathon, or find a theme and read some books and then do like a video on that every day of the week. That was fun to do when I did that Christina Lauren one. And I want to be able to join other channels readathons that they're doing. I want to join in on like Bookopoly when it happens. And if G at Book Roast does another one, I want to get in on that. Or Amy with her book club. I tried so hard to join that, but there just wasn't time. So I'm hoping by scaling back a little bit, this will enable me to broaden my nets and catch some more opportunities. There we go. So I can, spice things up a little bit. Oh, and I also want to be able to do like the try a chapter videos, or if there's any tags that are floating around, I want to jump in on those. Let's see. I don't know. I've never done live streaming. It might be fun to try and figure that out and do some reading sprints if anybody's interested. Or I'm definitely not ready to start a book club with y'all, but I would love to do like maybe a smaller version, because on STORYGRAPH we can do buddy reads with up to 8 people, and everybody can read at their own pace and comment at their own pace. So I think that would be a good way to test the book club route. So there's just so many ideas and not enough time. So I'm going to create that. Oh, And I'm going to finally share my, the next one's coming up, should be flip throughs from my 2021 and 2022 reading journals. I know the 21 is way after the fact, but I want to share all of it with you so you can see how my journal is progressing, because I've got drastic changes planned for that. I'm going to be adding a lot to it. It's got a couple of challenges in there that I'll be tracking, and so many ideas. So we just got to make it happen, right? Let me think. Is there anything else? Reviews. Okay, other than video reviews, I haven't really done those either. Yeah, I want to start doing more than just putting my star ratings on Goodreads or StoryGraph. So I am really going to make the effort to actually type out a review and have that on the books that I read. I can't guarantee that I'll do it for every book, especially right now while I'm trying to get the February Just Spin It board created. But I do plan to start doing that. I want to make that part of my routine when I finish a book to actually type out the review. That way, if I'm slow to get a video up, it'll be there in case you're like, well, did she ever read that and was it any good? So that's on my list. Again, I'm not guaranteeing 100% from the get-go, but I'm sure I'll get there because I can get very caught up in the details on that, and I'm very meticulous. It's like, no, I have to do this before I can move on, which gets me sometimes. Again, I'm not going to let y'all know all my big projects until I'm close to being ready to share them, because I don't want to make empty promises. And who knows, it may be another year before I even get to them. But just know, I may be quiet, but there's so much going on. Which reminds me, I am so sorry for being so negligent with responding to comments. I read them and they keep me going and they keep me motivated. I've just been scrambling since getting COVID right before Christmas. And then I am just now getting over the cough that I had. I caught COVID like December 12th. And I'm just now getting to where I'm not coughing all the time. And it just really slowed me down. So it slowed down taking down Christmas. My house was a mess. And I had to put my house first. I had to clear out some of the clutter. So that's starting to become doable again, to where I can hopefully start really giving some time to my channel, keeping up with the comments, because I'm reading them. I just haven't. I'm looking for the clear headspace to sit down to type meaningful responses, and then before I know it, something else comes up and here we are again. So just know I appreciate each and every one of your comments and your feedback. It really keeps me going. Before I go, who else is joining these challenges? Is anybody doing them already? Are you going to go check them out? Let me know, because I would love to compare what books you picked compared to what I have. All right, that's enough rambling for me. Y'all have a good one, and keep an eye out for my flip through videos. Those should be up next. Oh, I forgot. I haven't done wrap-ups for November and December. Is that, I don't even know if I should by this point. We'll figure it out. If you want to see them, let me know. All right, y'all have a great one, and I'll see you next time. Bye now. I hope I hit record.